No other options at this point either. It's like Snape or nobody.
Yeah, who's it gonna be?
Unknown person we don't know about.
Creepy person in the woods.
So then, a third centaur comes from the woods and charges the cloaked figure and scares it off. The first thing Harry asks, which you can't really blame him for asking, like, what the fuck was that? But it's a centaur, so he's not going to get a straight answer. And how mad would you be? Like, you saw them earlier kind of dodge Hagrid's questions, and now you're like, no, this is important, though. I really need an answer, and they're still dodging all your questions, talking about the stars.
Well, that bullshit doesn't help nobody. That's what my point is. So keep your bullshit to yourself if you're not going to explain it, you know? But Firenze lets Harry on his back, and it pisses everybody off. Because Firenze is like, we got to get this kid out of the forest. Did you not see that shit going down?
Yeah, they say it's dangerous for Harry to be in the forest, so Firenze tells him, get on my back, and wants to hightail it out of the forest. But Bane and Ronan say that it's shameful for him to have a human on his back. And they don't really go into detail as of why.
But Firenze doesn't even care at this point. He just is against whatever killed the unicorns. With the humans if he has to be. He doesn't even give a shit.
Right.
He fills everybody in on what unicorn blood is used for. You can drink it even if you're like an inch from death. It'll keep you alive, but you'll have a cursed life.
What kind of a curse are we talking about?
Right. That's what my thought was. Are you just sick? Like, do you just feel kind of shitty?
It's obviously not going to be bad enough to kill you if you're drinking unicorn blood and you get to live forever.
Well, that's why it was just strange to me that Harry immediately was like, well, death is better than a cursed life. And I was like, how do you know? What kind of curse are we talking about?
The only curse that it's looking like to me is that you have to just keep drinking unicorn blood.
Right, you're just like attached to that then.
Yeah.
You have to keep killing unicorns, which is not great.
Basically, it turns you into a fucking vampire. Kinda. You get a little bit, you have to keep having more and more. And Firenze explains that to kill a unicorn, somebody has to have nothing to lose. Once you do that, that becomes your whole existence.
You'd have to be pretty strong and powerful yourself to be able to take down the unicorn in the first place.
Right.
Firenze assumes that Harry knows a whole lot during this conversation, by the way. He asks him a couple times, but he's just like, you know what's hidden in there, right? Why would Harry know if he wasn't a nosy fucking kid?
Does it say whether or not he realizes who Harry is even?
He did. He recognized him right away.
Oh, okay.
That's why he helped him.
Yeah.
My question is, how does Firenze know?
Because they can read the stars and prophecies. They know it all.
Which spoke of a
And
Greek.
only a few times have they been wrong.
They got that woo.
I get it. Here I am just thinking, how the heck do they know what's going on in school?
Mars
They're just living in the
was
forest.
bright that night.
Okay.
Now, Firenze does also insinuate that Voldemort is involved, which does kind of connect things for Harry a little bit more, because he wasn't completely positive it was a Voldemort thing and not just a Snape was a greedy asshole thing. And Hagrid then shows up with Hermione and Firenze, and they leave. And I keep forgetting that Ron's not out there with them. Like, whenever Ron disappears, I just assume he's there, because he should be there.
I want to take a second real quick. At the end of this book, we are going to take some time to watch the movie, and we are going to do a show solely about the movie and ways that it compares to the book and just our thoughts on it overall. But I'm excited to do that. We're on chapter 15 right now. There's only 17 chapters in this book. So as we get to the end, I've been counting down the days until I can watch the movie, and I just expect that's going to be a really good show. But I wanted to say it out loud that we are going to do a movie episode where we can finally just put the movie and the book side by side and just really get into which one did what better.
I know for me, it's been so hard not to reference. We're trying to hang on to this so we can do it in a big way. So I'm trying really hard.
Right.
It is hard because there is a lot of visual things that you remember from the movies. But the book has a whole bunch of special moments of its own. That's why I love doing this. Back to it, we only have a little bit left. They tell Ron what happens, and Harry keeps saying Voldemort and pissing him off.
It made me laugh every time I read. Stop saying the name! Stop saying the name!
Yeah, because now he's like, I've met him now, so...
Yeah, he is an evil wizard, but now that he's seen him face to face, he doesn't have that mysticism about him that everybody else has because they've never seen Voldemort.
Well, he didn't really get to see his face. It's just kind of on the assumption that, it's him right there, but he's all cloaky and shadowy. Ooh.
He's weird and he's weak looking. In my opinion, I think when Harry saw him, it is fucking scary. Some weird thing comes crawling out of the woods, but at the same time, he's super weak. And so I think Harry just starts saying Voldemort because he has seen him. And there's nothing to be afraid of at this point. He's a living thing, but he's in pieces. He's not a threat.
He's seen him at his weakest, not when he was at his strongest.
Right.
It's not just some name that's floating above your head sounding super scary.
I wonder if Ron has a little more insight to saying the name as opposed to not. And that's why he's more afraid and doesn't want Harry to say it out loud.
I absolutely do think that Ron would have more insight to something like this. He knew about the dragons being illegal as fuck when, that's not something Harry would know anything about. He's a wizard kid. He comes from a wizard family.
He knew about the cloak?
Yeah, he's Harry's insight into this magical world. He's the person that he can go to and be like, okay, I'm a little bit stuck. I'm a little bit lost. What the fuck is this? And he can count on Ron to explain things to him. So I'm not surprised that Ron knew about something like that.
Ron grew up in a climate of fear around Voldemort's name. When you grow up and your parents are scared of something, so scared that they won't say it, you're not going to say it.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah. So it's not for Harry, and it's a totally different thing, but that's why it's such a visceral thing for both of them. Harry has such a connection, but at the same time not a connection with that name. And Ron, on the opposite side of it, has always grown up with that name not even being dared to be uttered ever, anywhere. Probably not even written down. He probably doesn't even know how to spell it. Harry thinks it's written in the stars that Voldy is coming back and he's going to kill him. Hermione says Dumbledore's going to keep everybody safe and fortune tellers are shit. McGee said so. And they stayed up all night talking, and when they went to bed there was a note on his pillow saying just in case with his invisibility cloak.
Somebody knew that Harry has that cloak other than Hermione, Ron, and Harry. The only other person was the person that gave it to him, which could be Dumbledore or McGee, in my opinion, or Snape. It could be Snape, to be honest, but it's gonna be, in my opinion, one of the other two. So, leading me back to the beginning, Dumbledore knew about the entire thing.
Here we go.
And sent McGonagall in and not Filch. And then brought the cloak back to Harry.
Just one big conspiracy. That's what you're going with. Just one whole big giant conspiracy.
Yes. Jade, a rebuttal?
Yes.
Get him.
Well, Dumbledore did give him the cloak. We know that because he references the cloak earlier. He already knows about it, for sure. Right. And so I think that he probably, at this point, has deduced that there was a dragon and probably went down and talked to Hagrid. No, we don't know any of this stuff, but it's like logical thinking. He brought it down because it's the same handwriting.
And it never says that Harry got a chance to go back and get the cloak. So the last we saw it, it was left up there where they met Ron's brother to get rid of the dragon.
Right. And also Filch was there. Filch is the one that caught them. Which is why I don't think it's totally illogical that Dumbledore heard about all of this happening and was like, they definitely used their invisibility cloak to get up there. And he was caught because he wasn't wearing it. He needs that back because it was his dad's cloak. It's not just like a fun toy. It's an heirloom that he can't let him lose.
I wonder why Dumbledore is concerned with his anonymity when it comes to giving Harry this cloak back. Why isn't he saying, hey, dude, your dad kind of trusted me with this shit. Here you go.
He's the headmaster of the school, and giving a student an invisibility cloak outright is asking for him to be sneaking around the school.
But he's not really keeping it a secret. I mean, maybe that's kind of Dumbledore's style, though. He follows the rules, but yeah, if you gotta bend one sometimes, and whatever.
Maybe he's just having a little fun with it.
It could very well be. He is an odd guy. He's definitely eccentric.
Look at the swish in my purple cloak.
Yeah, don't forget the high heels.
And the sparkle in my half-moon glasses. Would you like a lemon drop?
And that brings us to the end of the chapter. Harry has his cloak back with a note that says, just in case. And he's done, man. He's going to bed.
And he's wondering about Snape and Voldemort's connection.
Right?
There's only 2 more left.
Yeah, we're really getting down to the end of it here.
I'm not ready.
I will say, at the mention of lemon drops, that now I have decided for movie night, I'm going to go out and get butterbeer. I'm going to go out and get the every flavored beans from Pete's Gourmet Market because they sell a whole bunch of Harry Potter candy. So we will have munchies for our movie watching experience.
I'm just excited. I watched the first movie in theaters, and so I always get like a really crazy nostalgia from like hearing the music.
CJ, my sweet boy, hums the Hedwig theme every day, all day. Makes my heart melt.
Well, I think that does it. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, it was a long one. It was a good one, though.
It was a good one. So, hey, guys, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate every single one of you. Be sure to catch us next time here on All the Things.
Bye!
Have a great one.
Bye!
We'll see you real soon. Well, that's our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you wanted to reach out to us, you can. Our email is podcastatt@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook by searching All the Things or at podcastatt.
Our Instagram and Twitter are podcast_ATT. And if you're interested in helping us grow, you can find us at Patreon at podcast_ATT as well. Thanks. Catch you next time.